What is up, you guys? This is All Day Any Day One on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you another Assassin's Creed Odyssey build video. And with this build video, this build in particular is going to be called the Rogue, or the Rogue build. And the reason why I'm calling it the Rogue build is because you're going to be focused heavily on doing a hybrid of warrior and assassin damage, so you'll be able to sneak around and getting pretty much easy insta kills with assassin kills, or you can pretty much, face toe-to-toe against some enemies, but you are going to be a glass cannon, meaning you'll be able to do a lot of damage, but you can also take a lot of damage and potentially die within 1 to 2 to 3 hits. Now we're going to go ahead and go straight into all the abilities and all the equipment that you're going to be using. So for the weapons, you're going to be using Dagger of Cronus and the Atlantean Blade. So the reason why you're going to be using Dagger of Cronus is because it's going to give you 19% warrior damage, 21% damage with daggers, 40% damage when attacking from behind, and 2% chance to deal 25% of your assassin damage on melee hit. And then the that engrave actually comes from the Dionysos Tears, and I know I'm not saying that correctly at all. So if you know the right pronunciation, just throw that down in the comment section because I know someone will. But you can get this with Helix. Maybe sometime in the future, the Oikos vendor will end up releasing this item, and if you don't have it, then, or if you don't want to buy it, or if you don't want it, whatever, if you just end up not having this, the alternative is you could use Greek Hellos, which will give you 15% all damage, but you will lose 15% health. And the only difference with this is the Greek Hello is on sale right now, the Oikos vendor, but it will end up leaving whenever he resets. So if you can get it right now, I would highly recommend getting it. And right now it is January 13th, 2019, so just in case, someone watches this like a week later, obviously they won't be able to get this dagger. But if you don't have the Greek Hello either, then the alternative will be 25% damage to bosses and elites, and that one is actually fairly easy to get. And then for the Atlantean Blade, it's going to have hunter damage. Don't worry about the hunter damage. It's nice, but it's not needed. And then but you do need that 35% crit damage, 30% armor penetration, 100% damage, but your health is going to be capped to 25%. Now, with this though, with the Atlantean Blade, I only use it because that armor penetration is really important and that crit damage. But it would be really nice if you could end up if that hunter damage could have been switched to either warrior or assassin. And then for the bow, my epic bow, I have warrior damage, assassin damage, crit chance, 25% cooldown duration for all abilities. And it's important to have all three of those because you do need high crit chance, high warrior, and assassin damage. Now for my helmets, I have assassin damage, all damage by 7%, 14% crit chance while full health, and 35% crit damage. Arms has 18% assassin damage, 60% crit damage while full health, 7% crit chance, and then 21% range resistance, but you honestly don't need any range resistance. These were really good gloves. It's just the only problem that I have is the range resistance. It would be better if you could find something that gives you either crit damage, 35% crit damage, 14% crit chance while full health. Either of those would work great. And then for the torso, I have warrior damage, all damage, assassin damage, and then 35% crit damage as well. And then the waist, warrior damage, 60% crit damage while full health, 7% crit chance, 5% crit chance, and 25% crit damage while full health. Now if you don't have that engrave, which comes from the Nemean Lion set, then you could always replace it with 14% crit chance while full health, or you can get 35% crit damage, or the base crit damage. And then for the boots, it's going to be assassin damage, crit chance while full health, crit damage while full health, and warrior damage. So the reason, or you might see this in my my Berserker build, because this is just really great as a universal assassin or warrior boots. It would be nice if I had either one set for assassin damage, one set for warrior damage, and one set for hunter. I have one for hunter, technically one for assassin, but not one for warrior, so I did need to put that warrior damage. But it's great for this particular build because of that warrior damage and assassin damage hybrid. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the abilities. So I have Weapon Master maxed out, which is something you need because it gives you 40% increase in warrior damage, 10% increase in crit chance, and then your combos also deal more damage, and the combo finisher deals more damage, not the combos in general. And then Shadow Assassin is going to give you 40% more damage to your assassinations, as well as 50% more damage or crit damage. And then you also do get one extra adrenaline segment every time you assassinate an enemy. Unfortunately, it will not work with Rush Assassination though, so if you do plan on using Rush Assassination expecting to get adrenaline, you're not going to. And then Stealth Master is going to be maxed out as well, because with this it allows you to be undetected from a further distance now, or even a lot closer. It's going to be harder for enemies to detect you. And then your assassinations and out of combat damage is also increased while you're playing at nighttime. But for this instance, I'm only going to be playing during the daytime to show you, so I won't really be able to make use of the Stealth Master that much. And then I have Death Veil, but Death Veil is more of just a fun passive mode or passive ability that I have. It's not something that you necessarily need, but it works pretty well, so that way enemies won't be able to spot their allies or dead allies and then be aware. And then for all the abilities I'm using is Second Wind, Ring of Chaos, Shield Breaker, 1 point into overpower attacks, and then Battle Cry of Ares. And then I have Venomous Attacks, and then Poison Mastery maxed out, Rush Assassination maxed out, Slow Time maxed out, Hero Strike maxed out as well. And then the way I have my ability set up is I have Ring of Chaos, Rush Assassination, Hero Strike, and Shield Breaker. Shield Breaker is going to be really useful as well. And yes, I know that Ring of Chaos apparently was nerfed. I think it was nerfed by 100% damage. I think it used to do 350% warrior damage, but it still does great damage, and it's great for knockdowns and stuns as well. And then on the second melee page, this is my passive. So I have the Poison on it, and then Assassination, Slow Time, and then Second Wind and Battle Cry of Ares. Now for the abilities or the mastery points, I have no points into the Hunter tree at all, or Hunter Mastery. The Warrior Mastery, I have 8 out of 20 points, and then I also put 8 out of 20 points on the damage dealt restored as health, so I'm at 3%. And then for the Assassin Mastery, I have 5 out of 20 because I just didn't have enough to put 3 more into the poison weakening effect. And then, but it's still nice, 2.1%. And then Assassin damage is at 12 out of 20. 16% assassin damage, 12 out of 20 damage with daggers, 8 out of 20 for crit chance while full health, 12 out of 20 crit damage while full health, 12 out of 20 for damage while full health, and then 8 out of 20 adrenaline per hit, 8 out of 20 for damage on elites and bosses, 8 out of 20 for a chance to deal 25% assassin damage on melee hit. So I'm looking at a total of 5% crit or a chance to deal 25% of assassin damage. So that way, instead of me having to spend all 20 points just to get 5%, all I have to do is put 8 points and then use that engrave, so I had that 5% chance. And then, I mean, it would be nice to have 7%, but I don't think a 2% difference is that big. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the stats as well. So you do want to try to get around 250% and 250%, or 250% assassin and warrior damage, which is why my assassin and warrior damage on the mastery were kind of countered, like they're just balanced a little, so that way they can reach these. And then my hunter damage is only 131%. I'm not worried about it at all. And then for my weapon modifier, it's at 45% damage with daggers. My critical modifiers, the crit chance is, the base crit chance is 36%, 205% crit damage base, and then crit hit chance while full health is at 75%, and then 450% crit damage while full health. And then for my utility, it is at 18% adrenaline per hit. And honestly, I'm not worried about like I said, I'm not worried about the ranged resistance, but it is 21%, so it's pretty nice. And then 160% poison buildup. Now for my goal, what my main goal is I want to try to get to 260% for both of these, warrior and assassin, at least 260, 265%. And then for the damage of daggers, I want to get to 60% damage of daggers. And then crit chance is fine where it's at. 75% is a really good spot. But I do want to get to 500% crit damage while full health, because the most I can reach up to is about 481, 486% crit damage while full health. But I'm not about to put a lot of my points into the abilities or the mastery abilities yet until I have more points accumulated. But for my stats here, the warrior damage is good where it's at, 30k warrior damage, but I do also want to try to reach 250k assassin damage and higher. I was able to get to 260k, but my warrior damage was dropped to like 24k or something, so I had to kind of counterbalance it a little. So this is a lot closer to 250k, while this still reaches 30k. But that is pretty much it with this video. I'm going to do a quick little, I wouldn't say quick little gameplay, but I am going to do a clip of this build going off right over there actually at that fort. If you have any questions or concerns about this build, let me know down in the comment section. If you have any suggestions you would like to add on to that you think would help this build out, or if you have any build suggestions that you'd like to see, let me know down in the comment section as well. I am still working on a few builds, like I'm working on a quote-unquote summoner build. I'm working on like just pretty much other builds in general, just fun things to use. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If this helped you out, go and leave a like, comment, subscribe. This is all Danny Day 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Someone's down! What are you doing there? What's out there? No! We bow before no one! I've got you now! She's the one!